Hello and welcome, my sweet creative friend. I hope you have a cup of coffee or something to keep you going while we delve into this discussion, which is sometimes a little less relaxing than other topics, which for a lot of writers, which is marketing. Marketing our books as authors, whether you're an indie author or a traditionally published author, whatever, maybe you're still in the process of writing your book and publishing is just something over the distant horizon, but you want to start thinking about it. It can be daunting, can't it? To think about, how am I gonna market my book? What do I need to even do? And there's so much information out there pulling us in every direction, telling us we need to be everywhere all at once, making all sorts of content that isn't really what we want to be spending 100% of our time on, right? As authors, I think it can be scary because it takes a lot of time, doesn't it, to write a book, to bring a book into the world. We have to be spending the majority of our time writing, doing what we love doing. And especially maybe we're still working on something else, we're working a job. And so the time that we do get to write, we don't want to fill that up with just marketing. We want to be working on our books. So is there a way to market in a way that isn't extremely scary and time consuming for creatives? Well, that's what we're going to get into today. I come from a background of really hating marketing. I've never been much of a marketer. I've never really liked the idea of marketing. Even the sound of marketing is like, I don't really want to delve into that area. It sounds not really me. So what I learned to do was find my own voice, find my own footing, find my own path when it comes to marketing, because we can literally take that word marketing and get rid of it. We can let that go. This is about connecting, okay? So look at this it's more about, actually it's 100% about connecting with your readers and people who are going to be falling in love with your work, people who are going to really be positively impacted by something you've created. And to me, that's divine, but that's so beautiful that you can take your gift and connect with somebody with that gift, that what you made can mean something to someone else. So this is all about connecting your work with those people who are going to be profoundly impacted by it. So now it becomes a much more mindful process. We can take that word marketing and platforms and audience and just get rid of all that. That's not how I look at it at all. This YouTube channel, to me, I don't look at it as like, this is my platform. It's like, oh, whoa, no. This is where I get to commune with you guys. And that means more to me than anything. Like, I can't even say that enough. I'm not just saying that to sound nice. This is like, at the core of who I am is this sacred love for you guys and this space that I'm so honored and blessed to have the chance to come here, show up, and connect with you guys. It means more to me than anything. And some of you have found out about my books through this channel and you've read them and you've enjoyed them. And that means the world to me. That's a huge reason why I do what I do, is because my book might mean something to somebody someday. That's awesome. So all that to say, I'm going to discuss some tips with you guys, things that have helped me. We're going to go over some of these things. Number one is that there's this huge myth that you have to be everywhere all at once, every day, showing up and creating content on all sorts of platforms. You have to have a YouTube channel. You have to have a TikTok. You have to have Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook and X or whatever Twitter turned into, and all these things. You have to show up for them every day with a new piece of inspiring content, a new piece of content urging people to go and buy your book. And you have to be making dynamic content every other moment. Now that thought right there is enough to bring any creative to tears of despair because that sounds like it would take 100% of your time. And you would probably also need an extra person to even help you with all of that. And probably, just it would be very emotionally taxing to even do all that. But the good news is you don't have to be everywhere I am not everywhere on all these social platforms. In fact, I've made many videos about leaving social media because I no longer use social media personally. I do share about my art on social media sometimes by navigating to my page and sharing. So you can take me as a good example of someone who barely uses social media, and yet I'm still able to share about my work. So that's really encouraging for you. If you're someone who's like, I really don't want to be on social media that much, I'm not on social media that much. You really don't have to be every other minute on social media, posting something, sharing something, replying to every comment. You just don't have to do that. What I would recommend is to find the platforms that work best for you uniquely. As a unique individual, what platforms, what websites, social media apps, whatever you want to call it, what works best for you? What are you most drawn to? What do you most enjoy? For me, it was YouTube. I liked making videos. I liked showing up here and talking with you guys. And I found that the people, my people that I wanted to connect with were on YouTube watching videos. I wanted to make longer form content. And it seemed like that's what a lot of you guys were hanging out on YouTube to find. So I was like, cool, that excited me. And I ended up funneling a lot of my time into just making videos. I was able to let go of this need years ago now, where I was trying to make content, videos and blog posts, and taking all these pictures to try to put on every single platform I could think of, because that's what all these articles online were, urging me to do as a young author starting out, that I had to be everywhere all at once. Otherwise, my work would never be seen and I would never be able to connect with my beloved readers. But that simply wasn't true. And by narrowing that down and letting go of platforms that didn't serve me, websites and apps that did not serve me, I was able to really show up for my people in the place where they were showing up, the place where you guys were showing up, which was YouTube. So I started funneling my time into YouTube, letting go of the other websites that I didn't need to be spending so much time on. And then suddenly I had so much more free time to write and then to show up on YouTube and share things here. So don't feel like you have to be on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, whatever. If you don't like those, don't use them. Use what works for you. If you're someone who doesn't want to be on social media whatsoever, maybe you can figure out a way to start an email newsletter or create a digital magazine or do something completely different. Think outside of the box here. We don't have to do the exact same thing that other people have done. We can blaze our own trail, right? The next thing I wanted to bring up here, and it tags on well to what we just talked about, is you don't have to make short form content. Short form content being these 30-second, 1-minute videos that you see known as like YouTube Shorts, and they're on Instagram, and I think they're on other things. I'm not really sure, but these really short videos that are usually a size of a phone screen aspect ratio, and they go by really quickly, and they're like this really quick scroll through consumer content. And the problem with short form content is a lot of times if you want to share something really thoughtful and you're hoping to connect in a really mindful way with your reader or viewer, in a way that you want to draw this beautiful human being into your world so you can connect with them on a deeper level, you can make things for them. That's not necessarily going to happen in a 30-second video that people are just scrolling through. Now it can, and if you enjoy making short form content, you should totally do that, because it can have a positive impact for sure. But if it's something you don't want to do and you're being told by hundreds of articles that are out there today of like, you need to make short form content or all of your branding or whatever is going to fall apart, you're not going to get any following. No one's going to follow you. No one's going to look at anything you do. You'll never be able to make friends and fans of your work unless you're making these very highly stimulating 30-second videos. Well, that's simply not true. I rarely ever make a YouTube short. Every once in a while I do, but usually it's a piece cut out of a longer video. And what I've found is that the beautiful individuals who like my work, who have congregated here in this beautiful community, like longer videos. I like longer videos. I rarely watch short videos like that. I like to find someone who I can learn from and watch their videos, even if they're like 20 minutes long, 30 minutes long. I will sit there and watch it and really enjoy it. And there's, I think, a lot of people out there who like longer videos as well. So you don't have to feel like you have to chop up everything you do to be so short and cut yourself short just because that's what you're being told people want these days. The next thing I want to talk about is noticing what captures your attention. What captures your attention as a reader or as a fan of someone else's work? Think about maybe some of your favorite authors or your favorite directors or filmmakers or artists of any kind. What is it that when you see it online or even in a magazine or in a book, what is it that captures your attention? Is it like, oh, I love it when this person posts photographs that look like this, that just really draws me in? Or I really like it when Kate posts these long videos going on and on, talking with a cup of espresso here. What is it that you like? Because chances are the stuff you like is maybe what you should be making. That's what I started doing. I remember back in the day when I used to feel like, oh, my videos have to be like 5 minutes or 7 minutes and whatever. And then I started really looking at what I was watching, what I was listening to, and I'm like, hey, why don't I make something like that? That's what I really enjoy. So you're able to like break out of that mold and really just figure out what is serving you. What serves you in your own creative journey, because maybe you should make something like that. Maybe that's why you're excited about that. That leads us into our next point, which is make stuff that you can get excited about and don't be afraid to break the mold. That's the next thing I have on my list here. And like I was already saying, figure out what makes you excited and don't be afraid to break the mold. If it's something that someone else hasn't done, that influencers haven't done, like, oh my gosh, can we just get rid of all this language? Just make what you want. Make what you want. Make what gets you excited. Make what you feel inspired about. I was inspired to do this video within 5 minutes. I was making a video and I was thinking about like some of the stuff I want to make, talking about my own books. And I'm like, hey, we often feel as writers like so cramped in, like we have to make these images talking about our books and try to just put them on as many promotional things as possible, when maybe what we should be doing is just finding our friends, finding people who would enjoy our work and connecting with them and making whatever the heck we want and just letting ourselves grow, letting ourselves expand, breaking the mold. I think we're in an age of breaking the mold. And that leads us to our next point. We have 2 more points here. This one is, what you make does not have to be all about your work only. And so let's use my YouTube channel right here where we are communing now. I don't just talk about my books 100% of the time. I mean, I would get pretty bored just talking about my own writing. I like to talk to you guys about like what you're up to, and Abby and I have the podcast, and we do a lot of meditating here, and we do a lot of breath work here, and yoga even sometimes, and we talk about life and minimalism and like mindfulness and how we can apply that to our creativity so that we can become more creative beings. And a lot of you guys have also checked out my work too, and that's cool because I don't need to show up here and just talk about my own stuff, you know what I mean? I think that's this misconception that if we're not talking directly about our work, we're not promoting it. This isn't about just promoting our work. This is about making connections, lasting relationships with beautiful, brilliant souls who might be interested, might be really impacted by what we are making, and we might be really impacted by what they're making too. So many of you guys have left me comments in the comment section on my videos and have shared your own works in progress and things you're making and things you're working on that have affected me so profoundly and have caused me to think deeper and have taken me deeper into my own journey. This is a two-way street here. This is about connecting with individual people, not just plastering your own book across the screen over and over again. So that's something to think about. And lastly, this is the most important one. is to be patient with yourself and enjoy the journey as much as possible. If you are working on trying to figure out how to market your book, how to release your book into the world and share it with people who are going to enjoy it, who are going to enjoy this story that you've worked really hard on, this can be a long journey. It can be a long journey. It has a lot of different steps. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things to figure out. Every single tip that we just went over, it's going to take you a while to figure out, like, what is it I like making? What is it I really want to share? What is it I really want to say? What sort of websites and applications do I want to be using to share it? Do I want to make videos? Do I want to do photography or write blog posts and newsletters? What is it you want to do? Because we can't do all of it. So we have to find the things that work for us. And that's a process of learning. And I say this from experience because I am still learning it. I am still trying to figure out different ways that I can really share my work in a way that is true to me. Finding my own voice. And the most beautiful part of all of this is as you go, you're going to make so many friends, and you're going to meet so many incredible people who you're going to be able to connect with on this online space. And let's face it, I think that's one of the things that is beautiful about this day and age of technology, is that even with all the, the junk that can happen on the internet, this is like the beautiful part of it, right? We get to connect about things that actually matter to us, about sharing creativity, sharing our gifts, and encouraging others to peer into their own souls, into their own hearts, and discover the gifts inside of them, the creativity inside of them. So let me know what you think about all this. Are you an author who's maybe in the publishing stages? Are you looking at different ways to share your book with the world? Are you someone who hates marketing? You want to just throw that word out the window like I do and adopt some new, more transcendent words to describe it? Are you someone who really likes the process and you found a lot of creative ways to do it? Please share with me below, because I feel like I need some encouragement in this area as well. I'm always looking for ways to share on a deeper level, right? So tell me about that in the comments. I would absolutely love to hear from you. If this enriched you, it always means the world when you subscribe, because it would mean so much to me to have you here in the community. Your presence means the world. If you feel drawn to, you can support me on Patreon. You can check out my Etsy shop. And I also have a few courses for writers below that if you want to check those out, you can find the links down in the description. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. I wish you so much joy in your creative journey, and I will see you in the next video. Namaste.